Hey everybody, this is my 55-gallon Gourami tank, and today is the day I completed my cyanobacteria treatment. I did a Chemiclean treatment on this tank. In fact, I did sort of two of them back to back. I don't know if there's any set rule on how many you're supposed to do necessarily. I always just give it a treatment. I wait a couple days. If I still see any bright red cyanobacteria going on in this tank, I give it another treatment. I wait a couple more days, and usually by the second or maybe third treatment, I don't see any more of the red cyanobacteria in this tank anymore. Now, I've never done more than 3. I've never found that necessary, and I usually only do 2. Today, I did have a little bit of the red left growing in there. You can kind of see off to the bottom it's a little bit still reddish, and up in that right hand corner you can see where it was so thick that the treatment didn't have enough time to really kill it all. Unfortunately, I ran out of the cyanobacteria treatment, the Chemiclean, and I have to wait about a week before my next bottle shows up. So I figured what I would do is just go ahead, pull the air stone out, wipe the front glass down, do a big water change, and get the tank looking good. And as I've mentioned before, as soon as I do a treatment on the cyanobacteria, my algae-eating fish just go crazy on cleaning everything up. You can see my Hillstream loach over here is having a go at it. And I know on camera that looks a lot more red than it does to my eyes, so that does tell me that there's even some growth left on that rock. But I did check, and I do still have some video of when we got started doing this tank. So instead of doing a before and after video of my water change tonight, I wanted to do a quick look at what it looked like before I did the treatment versus now. So here's what it looks like now. You can see the grain in the wood, and there's still a little bit of red in there, but it's not a whole lot, especially when you compare it to this. So, not perfect, but way better than it looked when we got started doing this treatment. I also got in there, as I said, and I wiped the front glass down really thoroughly and did a fairly significant water change. So, that's about it. All I've got to do is a simple Chemiclean treatment every 6 to 9 months maybe, and the tank goes from having that sort of reddish purple look to being back to looking like this. And again, even that reddish purple looks not bad necessarily. It's just kind of weird, and it's not hurting the fish or anything. Again, it's just kind of a strange look, and I wanted to get it back to where I could actually see the color and texture and everything in my rocks, and certainly in the woodwork over here. That's one of the few pieces of wood I actually purchased, so I'd like to be able to see it. It's been in the tank for years and years. It's probably significantly smaller than it was when I put it in there. It's been slowly deteriorating away over the years, and fish scraping on it and chewing on it or whatever's probably been wearing it down too. So a final thought is that it was suggested that some of that sort of reddish brown color might be diatom algae. I don't believe it is. I'm not saying that there's not some diatom algae mixed in with that. I'm sure there's a mishmash of all kinds of stuff mixed in, growing in there, especially on the wood surface. But for the most part, I don't believe that it is the diatom algae. Some of that sort of brown you can see left over might be some of it, but even that's probably still the dead cyanobacteria rather than the diatom algae. And the reason I say that is for 2 reasons. One is I've got experience with that brown diatom algae, and it tends to be a very flat, dull brown. And even when I get it on video here on my camera, where this cyanobacteria tends to show up much, much more sort of purpley than it really is, the diatom algae doesn't do that weird color thing on my camera. It comes out a dull brown on my camera, just like it's a dull brown to my eyes. So I really don't think it's the diatom algae based on that. And I know that the cyanobacteria treatment, the Chemiclean, does not kill algae. It doesn't kill the diatom algae, nor does it kill the green algae. So the fact that Chemiclean does kill this red stuff and turn it from red back to brown. And again, if I had done another treatment, and I will in a week or two when I get another batch of it, it will kill that stuff off, and that'll turn brown, and then the tank won't have any of the red cyanobacteria in there, at least for now. It comes back. It always comes back. Don't know why. I stopped caring why a long time ago. It just comes back, and it comes back in this tank, and it always comes back in this tank. It's done it for years and years and years, regardless of what I've done to it. So, like I said, a simple Chemiclean treatment every now and again, and I don't have to worry about it. It's no big deal. In fact, right underneath of here is an air pump with a stone, and all I got to do is plug it in, plop the air stone in, mix up 5 scoops of Chemiclean into a cup, pour it in the tank, and I'm done. It's really, really easy, and I don't have to worry about it or spend a lot of time fussing over it. So there you go. That's a look at what it looked like before the treatment and what it looks like now. So make sure you're subscribed. That way you won't miss anything I got coming up. You never know what it's going to be with me. And don't forget, of course, this one here is my 55-gallon Gourami tank. So thanks for watching. I'll see you real soon in the next one.